How y'all doing? For this video, I'm going to show off some more miniatures, particularly a box set I got at a really good deal on eBay. It was a sealed box of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Tzanngors. Now, what's a Tzanngor, you may ask? Well, in Warhammer, and even Warhammer 40,000, you have Beastmen, which are these mutants that are corrupted by powers of chaos, some from birth, some by other means. And basically, they turn themselves, what used to be just various animal parts of mutants, now just refine themselves for simplicity for goat people. So very savage, brutal goat people that are servants of chaos. And of course, some of these beastmen could dedicate themselves to each of the chaos gods, and they will give benefits appropriate for that. So you have beastmen that dedicate themselves to Khorne, what we call Tzanngors, and they'll be combat oriented and such. You have beastmen dedicated to Nurgle, those are the Pestigors. You have Tzanngors, which are dedicated to Slaanesh. These are Tzanngors dedicated to the chaos god Tzeentch. So, and of course, as they dedicate themselves, I don't think they currently have Khorngors, but they have beastmen of the other chaos gods themselves. And these ones will have bird-like appearance on top of the goat ones, because that's a theme about Tzeentch, is that many of the greater demons are basically the giant bird-type creatures. Now, with this box set, you could build 10 fully completed Tzanngors. However, as always, many of you collectors know, there will be sprues to give you all sorts of extra parts, but you can't make a complete one, at least by itself. I'm going to show you how I got more for my buck out of this. Now, in addition to this box set, I went ahead and grabbed another Tzanngor all by itself from eBay for just a few dollars. And again, this is a really good deal. It came from the Age of Sigmar Underworld skirmish game. I call it skirmish game. It's more of a board game. You get, so you don't have to go full Age of Sigmar, expenses. You can have a simple little hex-based board game. You grab yourself warbands to your liking, you play against that. And they have one that's dedicated to servants of Tzeentch of various kinds. And one of them was another Tzanngor, which I like. And you can tell because the base is different, it's kind of bricked up, where these are just plain, which I textured. So with that and this, it gives me 11. I'm going to show you how I got more out of it.
So after building 10 models, I tried to see if I can make more of it. So you come up with these two right here. As you can see, there's enough parts to give you the head, the horns, the neck, the upper chest connected to the weapons, and you have the lower waist, which is also connected to the upper legs. If you turn it around, you can see that Games Workshop does not provide you enough to finish it with the upper back, the back of the belt, and the legs themselves. All is not lost, if you're creative enough. So I start with using a paper clip and shaping it and cutting it down to the right shape, should I say. I glued it to the back of the upper thighs. Then through the use of Milliput, I was able to shape out the upper back, the back of the belt, and form the legs. In addition to that, I utilized the banners that the box set comes with and adapted it into cloaks. So I glued them to the back and attached a little bit of Milliput around the neck to give it, a means of show it as some support. And you come up with this. I was able to take a box of 10 and added 2 more, give me a box, making it 12. Now, the legs themselves, as you can see, are not as thin or elegant as the miniatures come with, but it's chaos. There's going to be some disformity like that. You can't, and I'm kind of reminded of the old-fashioned Beastmen back in the day, made out of metal, which had bigger feet and all that, and that was more hand-sculpted. I think Games Workshop utilizes digital sculpting as a first and foremost, and that's how you get it thin like that. I'm not very good at sculpting. Others could do it better, but hopefully this should inspire those to do what I did and hopefully do a better job. So here we are. So with these 12 out of the box set plus the 13 ones, I went ahead and started painting.
So with that, I got them all primed, and I got them. I started painting on it. But as I was painting, part of my mind, started thinking, and then I started looking at all the pieces, as I can go at least one more. The only thing that Games Workshop doesn't give you, if you try to go beyond that, is it doesn't have the neck connecting the head to the shoulders. But that's okay, because again, you could get close to, and all I did is did everything I did before. I you put together as much as you can, and the only thing different this time is I don't have any cloaks, but that's okay. I was confident enough to give it at least a decent attempt on the back. All I had to do was just a little bit of milliput and make the necks, and that could attach the head to the shoulders. In addition to that, you can notice that many of these Tzanngors have like feathers or tentacles. So I decided to roll up a little bit of milliput and attach it to the back to make tentacles, so it's not just bare neck and all that. And I figured I could do that with at least one more. Well, I was mostly right.
I was mostly right because I was able to actually do it with 2 of them. Now, with one of these, I kept one of the arms bare because I was going to paint the shield separate. I didn't do that with the last ones because I wanted to make it easier. But again, did the same thing before. I just made necks and made a little bit of tentacles in the back, but everything I did was before. I sculpted the upper back, the belt, and the legs. So I was able to turn a box of 10 and got 14 of it, giving me a total of 15 miniatures when I add the extra one I got from the Eyes of Nine Underworld set.
So I painted those 2 up, and now I'm going to show you in the slideshow here at the end of this video before they're after they're painted. It just goes to show that, if you're creative enough, you could take what's given and, get more for your buck out of this. Now, Games Workshop, I think, could have been smarter in making these sprues to where you have less waste, so to speak. I know I've seen some videos where they could take these plastic sprues, melt it down with acetone and other things, and use it as a goop they can use to make molds for buildings and all that. And that's one way you could be creative with your excess parts you can't use. As I said, Games Workshop is pointlessly expensive, as many of you already know. Many of us have stopped buying Games Workshop because of that and other practices that they have. So as I say, I got this secondhand from eBay at about roughly half the price, and look what I was able to get more out of, as you can see. And after doing all that, I still have some sprues of parts. You'll still have heads and antlers. You'll still have weapons attached to the upper chest. I've already used up all the bodies and all the necks, and the legs, as you can see, I had to form that. But again, you can go further with it if you're creative enough. So hopefully this can inspire you to look at what parts you have and go further with that. Heck, back in the old days, just about 20 years ago, Games Workshop encouraged people to do a lot of conversions. Make your own Chaos Beast, which, they don't have... It's kind of odd when you think about it, is everything's kind of nice and orderly in chaos. Make your weird chaos monsters out of extra parts like this. So shouldn't be too hard. I don't have plans for it. These are probably just going to be cut up and put in my spare boxes, which will just sit there. But again, maybe you could come up with something about that. So think about it as you watch this slideshow here. So thank you for taking your time looking at it, seeing what I've accomplished here, and thank you all for watching. Enjoy the slideshow. You have a nice day.